So, meanwhile, the president and his family actually have a whole lot more to deal with. New York's Attorney General is investigating whether or not the Trump Organization misled investors by inflating assets. So, Ben Tracy is joining us now to talk a little bit more about this. Ben, we had heard about this investigation before, but now we're getting a little more confirmation that it actually is occurring. What can you tell us?
Yeah, basically by putting out this statement yesterday that the Attorney General is asking a judge to decide if Eric Trump can be compelled to testify, they confirmed this investigation. So this is an investigation into the Trump Organization, basically alleging that the Trump Organization, or trying to find out if the Trump Organization has misrepresented President Trump's assets and the Trump Organization's assets when it was going after bank loans and trying to get things like tax benefits. So in this filing yesterday, the Attorney General is asking a judge to force Eric Trump, the president's son, who's one of the executives of the Trump Organization, to answer questions and to provide documents. They took that step because apparently about a week ago, Eric Trump abruptly stopped cooperating with this inquiry, and now they feel like they have to compel him to provide some of the information that they're looking for. And the Trump Organization has now told the New York Attorney General that it is not going to comply with its request. So this now will be up to a judge to decide if that has to happen.
So, Ben, let me ask you about the protesters that have taken to the streets in Wisconsin after police shot a black man in Kenosha on Sunday. Are we hearing anything from the White House?
Not a whole lot. We've been told that President Trump was briefed on that by the Attorney General, by Bill Barr. But it's not clear at this point if the president has seen the video of that incident, although we are told it has been described to him. So he at least understands kind of the broad contours of what happened there in Kenosha. But we have not yet seen the president tweet on this, and the White House has not put out a statement.
TikTok is fighting back. TikTok, or the company at least that represents TikTok, it has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration because of the president's executive order banning TikTok in the U.S. and essentially spurring sort of a sale of TikTok, at least the U.S. Branch of it. What's the company arguing in the lawsuit?
Yeah, so the reason for this lawsuit is basically that the president's executive order would all but ban TikTok in the United States unless it finds a U.S. buyer for its U.S. operations. And the reason the administration is taking this step is because they say they are concerned that the owner of TikTok, which is a company called ByteDance, which is headquartered in Beijing, could provide data that's acquired from its U.S. users to the Chinese government. Now, there is some criticism that this is mostly part of the squabble that President Trump is having with the Chinese government, but that is the argument of the administration. Now, what the lawyers are saying for TikTok is that this is unfair, that they have done everything they can to protect the data of U.S. users, that they have explained that to the federal government during a national security review. And they put out a statement yesterday that basically said that they have not been given the opportunity to be heard, and therefore this executive order violates their due process protections of the Fifth Amendment. So we'll see where this goes in the coming days.
Interesting. Finally, Ben, let me ask you about Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who is traveling to Sudan today. What do you know about his trip?
This is part of a bit of a victory tour, a victory lap, one could say, after this U.S.-brokered peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. So now Secretary Pompeo is going to Sudan to try to restore ties between those two countries. But there's other things at play here, too. Sudan is kind of on a fragile path to democracy, and part of this trip is to show U.S. support for those efforts. It is significant. This is the first time we've had a Secretary of State show up in Sudan since 2005 when Condoleezza Rice did. You know, the Secretary has his work cut out for him there in the Middle East, trying to get these countries who have really been foes of Israel now for decades to get on board and normalize their ties with Israel. And we should mention the reason all of this is happening is they're really trying to box out Iran. This is all about bringing these countries together that have been at odds so they can fight kind of the influence of Iran in the region as one group.
All right, Ben Tracy for us at the White House this morning. Ben, thank you very much.